It all comes down to tomorrow for Russia's Winter Olympic dreams. The International Olympic Committee is expected to decide if it will ban the country from Pyeongchang 2018 over allegations of systematic doping. But while the IOC prepares to make its case, Russian youngsters make theirs. So these kids are taking part in a popular video campaign supporting Russia's national team. Their rallying cry, "We want to go to the Olympics." And very soon, those young faces will either light up with joy or fall in profound disappointment. The call is supposed to come down in the early afternoon tomorrow. If the IOC bans Russia, it risks alienating one of the world's great powers. But if it doesn't, it risks alienating all of those who see Russia as a serial cheater. But what about Russia's own athletes, many of whom utterly reject any wrongdoing? Chris Brown met a prominent Russian skier who was banned and stripped of his medals after Sochi 2014 to talk about all of this. And they spoke at the site of a storied Winter Olympics where Russia dominated the medal count 2 decades ago.
Maxim Velykzhanin is a sporting hero in Russia, but not to the International Olympic Committee. It's labeled him a cheat and banned him from the Olympics for life. We caught up with him practicing in Lillehammer, Norway. He said he wanted to do an interview because he has nothing to hide. They talked about taking some kind of cocktail with alcohol. Well, I never drank anything like that. And the thought that some athlete would drink alcohol before a competition, that's just a fairy tale. In fact, the IOC's report, compiled by Canadian professor Richard McLaren, said that steroid cocktail was meant to help endurance. And scores of Russia's Olympic athletes at the Sochi Games took it. The IOC says all of them had earlier provided the doping lab with clean urine samples, which were then switched for the dirty ones with the help of Russia's secret police and sports ministry. They didn't find any evidence, said Velykzhanin, that would prove 100% they were tampered with. He won 2 silvers in Sochi and was stripped of them both. The IOC is now set to rule whether any Russian athlete should be part of the next Olympics in South Korea. Most Russians are furious that their athletes could be prohibited from competing at the Winter Games. They agree that the cheating was wrong and that it shouldn't have happened, but they say a total ban, that smacks of politics. Russia's Kremlin-friendly talk shows have amplified their attack on the IOC. A ban would be tantamount to sporting murder, said this presenter. The vitriol has been especially harsh for the former doping lab director Grigory Rodchenkov, the IOC's key witness, who's been labeled a traitor, mentally unbalanced, and totally untrustworthy. Russia's longtime ski coach Oleg Perevozchikov told us that Rodchenkov is taking revenge for being fired. When a cornered animal is mad, he's very scary. He can say whatever he wants. It's impossible to reconcile the claims of innocence from the athletes with the results of the doping investigation. Still, a total Olympic prohibition on all Russian athletes may be the least likely outcome. Perhaps more likely is banning the country's flag and anthem from the competition, which is why Velykzhanin is making one last appeal in the hopes of getting his ban overturned. Chris Brown, CBC News, Lillehammer, Norway.
And what Chris specifically means by banning Russia's flag and anthem is this. The IOC could allow individually cleared Russian athletes to compete as independents. So should they win, no Russian anthem will play and no Russian flag will be raised.